So I was talking about the name of the bacteria, Anaerobe vibrio lipolytica, that will be responsible for hydrolysis of triglycerides, and Butyric vibrio fibrisolvens that will be responsible for hydrolysis of phospholipid and glycolipids. So you should remember the name of both bacteria and their more how and which form of the fatty acids are being acted by these bacteria. So anaerobe vibrio lipolytica will be responsible for hydrolysis of triglyceride, and butyric vibrio fibrisolvens will be responsible for hydrolysis of phospholipid and glycolipids. And further, the degree of hydrolysis, which is declined, then the dietary level of fat is increased. So dietary level is very much important, or maximum inclusion level of fat is very much important. Otherwise, they may affect the digestibility of the fibrous feed. And once the digestibility of the fibrous feed will be affected, then what happens? Then absorption of the nutrient will be affected, and absorption of the nutrient will affect the production performance of the animals. So when dietary fat level is above the inclusion level, then the digestibility of the feed is affected, and particularly the fibrous feed digestibility will be affected. So we should supplement the fat within the maximum inclusion level, and it depends on the type of the animal, species of the animal as well. So after hydrolysis, what happens? Biohydrogenation. So biohydrogenation of unsaturated fatty acid, that means addition of the extra hydrogen or additional hydrogen, which takes place in the room. So biohydrogenation of unsaturated fatty acid, which is a constitutive major transformation, where the dietary lipids which can experience in the rumen and which desires a free fatty acid to succeed further. So in most of the diet, linoleic acid and linolenic acid, there is a difference in the double bond and position of the double bond and number of the double bond. So linoleic acid and linolenic acid, which are hydrogenated to 70 to 95%. Almost we can say that 90%. And linolenic acid is 85 to 100% hydrogenation takes place. Linoleic acid hydrogenation up to 70 to 95%, and linoleic hydrogenation degree of hydrogenation is up to 85 to 100%. So hydrogenation is declined when animal fed high level of concentrate. So concentrate feeding will affect the hydrogenation process as well. If we can offer high level of the concentrate. And there is inhibition of lipolysis at low pH. So pH of the rumen will also affect the metabolism of the fat. So pH is also very much important. So when decline in pH due to high level of the offering of the concentrate feed, where we offer high level of concentrate, then definitely pH will goes down. So once the pH will go down, then this disproportionate amount of the unprotected lipid, which is available in the diet, either coating of the feed particles or direct toxic, or that have direct toxic effect on rumen microbes. So by that way, they can affect the metabolism of the fat in ruminant when we offer high level of the concentrate feed, and high level of the concentrate feed reduce the pH, and that will affect the metabolism of the fat. So the initial step of rumen biohydrogenation. Before that, during biohydrogenation process, different rumen bacteria, which involves to hydrogenate PUFA, that means the polyunsaturated fatty acids, to trans fatty acids or trans 18:1, we can say that 18:1 trans fatty acids, which only limited species of bacteria which can hydrogenate trans 18:1 fatty acid to a stearic acid. So this fatty acid transformation has limitation in the rumen because limited microbes can transform it to a stearic acid. And the initial step of rumen hydrogenation process comprise of isomerization of cis 12. You can see that in this slide, isomerization of the cis 12 double bond to trans 11 configuration, and consequently in which is conjugated di or trienoic fatty acids. You can see this in table, dienoic and trienoic fatty acids after conjugation process and reduction of the cis 9 double bond, which ensuing in a trans 11 fatty acids. And finally, what happens? Finally, additional hydrogenation of trans 11 double bond, which creates a stearic acids. That is the 18:0. So there is no double bond in the stearic acids. So after final hydrogenation, biohydrogenation, a stearic acid will be formed. So there are different process and different steps or of from the hydrolysis to biohydrogenation of the fatty acids takes place in the ruminant system. You can also try to understand that the two important biohydrogenation intermediate in this table, you can see that in these graphs, two important biohydrogenation intermediates that are trans 11, that is 18:1 becenic acid, which is synthesized from the linoleic and linolenic acid, and cis 9 trans 11 conjugated linoleic acid, or that is the Cl, which formed linoleic acid. So this is also important to know about that. And these intermediates which exist in considerable quantity in ruminant fat at the ratio of 3:1. So the ratio is 3:1, where cis 9 trans 11 CLA or conjugated linoleic acid, conjugated linoleic acid, which is only a transitory intermediates or we can say that this cis-9 trans-11 CLA is transitory intermediates. Instead of, it is a bicyanic acid and that accumulates in the system. So most of the cis-9 trans-11 CLA that obtainable in ruminant fat that inverted in the mammary glands and adipose tissue. So most of that is present in the mammary gland and adipose tissue from endogenous synthesis. There are one enzyme which is responsible for that, and the name of the enzyme is delta 9 desaturase enzyme. You should remember that the name of the enzyme is delta 9 desaturase. And various intermediates which are being produced during the ruminal biohydrogenation process of polyunsaturated fatty acids that are absorbed and incorporated into ruminal fat as well, ruminant fat. So rumen bacteria, one of the important bacteria which is present in the rumen, that is Megasphaera ilsdeni. Megasphaera ilsdeni that produce considerable quantity of trans-10 or trans-10 and cis-12 conjugated linoleic acid. So one bacteria is also take part in the metabolism of the fats in the ruminant, that is Megasphaera ilsdeni. Just you remember, you know about that, the brown fat, what is that? Brown adipose tissue. So you should know about that also. So this is the, before trying to face this class, you should, I just talk about brown adipose tissue. What is that? So brown adipose tissue, it is a unique adipose tissue, unique in nature, which is mainly located in adjacent or around the spinal cord, thoracic organs, and kidney. So these are the position of deposition of this or availability of the brown tissue, that is a spinal cord, thoracic organs, and kidney. Its characteristic is very peculiar. So its characteristic is a reddish brown in color, having well-developed blood supply or blood vessels, and high content of the mitochondria and cytochrome. It has high content of mitochondria and cytochromes. And on exposure of cold environment, what happens on exposure of the cold environment, the nerve impulse which leads to release of norepinephrine or norepinephrine, we can say that norepinephrine's. So when norepinephrine releases in the system, then they activate lipase present in the adipose cells. Once they activated the lipase present in the adipose cells, then hydrolysis, then further hydrolysis of the triglycerides to fatty acids and cholesterol takes place. So by that way, therefore, increase the oxygen consumption and increase the temperature of the tissue. So oxygen consumption will be increased, and by that way, they increase the temperature of the tissues, and finally, the warming of the blood passing through it. It is not present in the slide, but just I am talking about that. Okay, you know about the brown adipose tissue. So just I am talking about that. So you should remember these things also. Right? You learned in the NCERT book also in 12th class that what is the brown adipose tissue. So just remember it or try to read the books where it is available. So what is that on how it is responsible for the maintaining the body temperature in adverse condition. So by that way, warming the blood passing through it and warming the body. So newborn animals, it is very important in newborn animals to keep the body maintained during the adverse condition or during the cold climate. So this is all about the fat metabolism, and in coming class, I will discuss about the protein metabolism and types of protein, what types of the protein is present. Some amino acid also I will discuss in coming class.